Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here. I have a cute project for you today. I am always trying to find new things to package up. So, when I was in the grocery store the other day, I picked up some Gingerman Pepperidge Farms cookies. I'm not sure how widely available these are, but they are in the US. I've seen these in all kinds of grocery stores, at least the Pepperidge Farm brand. And these Gingermen are really cute and they're very tasty. If you like ginger snaps, I know you're gonna love these. So in this package, I bought it and I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? Because this is a fairly large container. And usually we package things up paper crafting wise in a little bit smaller containers. So I was wondering what I was going to do with this. So I opened it up and there are three sleeves of Gingerman in here and they have about 7 cookies in each sleeve. So I wanted to figure out how I could create a little container for each sleeve. So each one of these will make 3 of the holders. And because they're in a paper sleeve, we want to protect them a little bit. So I also pop these inside one of Stampin' Up's clear medium envelopes, and then I put it in the box so it will stay a little bit protected. So I am going to show you how to make that today. I also have an alternate lid. This box here, I'm going to show you in a second. It's hard to do this up in the air because it doesn't act the same way with gravity, but it's a little slider box. And I'll also show you how to make an alternate lid if you prefer a lid that comes off. Yesterday, our son is here for the week and I always love to run things by him because I think he has a good eye for things. And so I asked him, I walked over to him with the 2 alternatives and I said, do you like the lid or do you like the slider? And he was like, I like the slider better. So that's why the slider's on the video. And I truly think it is super cute to have the slider, but some people prefer a lid. And of course the lid, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit more sturdy because I made this out of designer series paper and I'm going to make the lid out of cardstock. So theoretically it would be a little bit more sturdy. We need the length in the designer series paper because this is over 11 inches long that I use for the wrap. So I needed the length for the designer series paper wrap to go around the lid. But anyway, I will show you both designs and I have a project sheet for you, which will be mailed out on Saturday, but you have to be on my email list in order to get it. So just make sure that you're on there. If you're already on there, great, you're going to get it. You just need to sign up below. It's in the description of the email. And about, I think it was last week, someone emailed me and said, how much does it cost to be on your email list? It's free, so there's no charge, so you can just join my email list and get on there. And then on Saturdays, pretty much every week of the year, I have a project sheet coming out. Now there might be a few weeks around the holiday season where I might not be doing something. It just kind of depends on my schedule and if I can get a project scheduled. But you'll get a lot of project sheets from me during the year if you are on my email list. So I'm going to switch over to my other camera and I'm going to show you how to make this project. And if you are already one of my subscribers, thank you so much. I crossed 21,000 subscribers the other day. So that was kind of cool to see. So if you're not already a subscriber and you want to help me along and subscribe to my channel, please do that, or leave me a like or a comment. That all helps me get seen by more people, and I really appreciate that. Okay, I'm popping over to my work desk where you can't see my face. Okay, I'm propping up my project sheet too because I'll need that for our dimensions. It doesn't want to stay up. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the slider box. this thing comes completely out, and you can see how I've taken the sleeve and put it inside a clear envelope. I will package one up for you so you can see how I do that. And this is just a very basic box made out of thick, basic white cardstock. And this is just designer series paper. And then this is made with a Handmade Wishes bundle, which includes the Handmade Wishes stamp set and the handmade tag punch. Buy these two together and save 10%. I think you'll want to get both of them because while this is a great geometric shape, the punch alone, I love this frame right here. And if you're going to make this project, you want that little teeny tiny gingerbread man, which looks so cute down at the bottom of this. And then of course you get the Merry and Christmas, and you can do different things. You can do Happy Holidays if you want to be a little bit more neutral, or you could do Happy New Year, or you could go peace, joy, love. You know, there's a lot of different options with this stamp set. And I made another little box with this a few weeks ago, so you'll have another project that you can create with that. All right, let's talk about the paper I use. This is one of my favorite papers of the season. It is the Sweetest Christmas paper, and this actually belongs to another sweet. But I love candy canes. I love mint. I love ginger too. Candy canes, but it's got lots of stripes. So on one side, you're going to have a neutral pattern. On the other side, you're going to have stripes or candy canes. So there's a lot of nice Christmassy options with this paper. I'm also using this ribbon bundle this season. I really love because these are traditional colors, and there's garden green and real red, and just really nice, and it matches this paper really well. So we will use that. All right, let me pop these things away and we'll get started with the first part. We're gonna make that box base. So I like to use my Simply Scored, makes my life easier. You can also use your trimmer, which has a scoring blade on it. I don't use the scoring blade quite as often because I prefer to score on here, but this does also cut and score. So let's get the dimensions for our box base. And I've got a piece of cardstock that measures 7 inches by 6.5. And we are going to score this at the 2 1/8 inch mark on all 4 sides. Yeah, sometimes we have measurements that have eighths, and it is what it is. 2 1/8 on all 4 sides, and that is what it looks like. It looks kind of like a tic-tac-toe board, and you can cut this one of 2 ways. I like to cut into the long side, so there's 6.5 is just a little bit shorter, but I'm going to cut into the long side. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to cut up along the score line on the long side, just to the first score intersection, which is right here. So you cut here, here, then turn and cut here and here. Now, I like to use my trimmer to do this because it produces very straight lines, and I can kind of do the 2 cuts at once. So I line up, the long side is facing towards me, and I line up that groove that I just scored right on this line right here. And then I lift up this arm and bring it to that score intersection. You can line up that little line right on your blade with the score line that's running horizontally, and then just cut. And then I lift and bring it to the other score intersection and cut. So it's going to produce really clean lines. But if you don't want to do that, if that doesn't work well with your brain, just cut. I'm going to do the other side. So I'm lining up. Again, the long side is facing me. And I'm bringing my cutting blade down to the intersection and then lifting up this again, bringing it to the intersection and cut. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to bend these just a little bit so you can see. Long side facing towards me, cut, cut, long, cut, cut. All right. Oh, another little tip that I found. When I'm bringing this box together, because this is sitting on top of this bottom, sometimes you'll get like a little bit of a lip. I don't know if you can see that. You can kind of see there's just a teeny tiny, about a 1/16 of an inch sticking out. If you don't like that, you can go ahead and do it. It's not a big deal. It's like a very tiny detail thing. But if you have your cuts facing you like this, if you take off a sliver off this end, like just 1/16, so I'm just lining it just over, you're taking out like that much. Now when you bend this together, you won't have that little lip. So this side, you can test it out and see, but usually it does have a little lip. This one has a lip too. So this is the side I cut. This is the side that needs to get cut. Again, the cut sides are facing towards me. And I'll just take off a sliver again. This is just a little finishing detail that you don't have to do. It really won't affect the box. The slider will still fit because there's ample room. But now if we bend this and this and this, when we bring it together, you see there's no more little piece sticking out. It fits really nicely. Okay. Arrange this so hopefully my stack of stuff doesn't fall. Okay, bone folder. Let's make sure everything is folded. I'm going to smooth down the fold. I'm just folding everything in. Okay. All right. So now we're just going to glue this together. I like to live dangerously. So I'm going to put glue on all four corners at one time. If you don't like to live dangerously, do them one at a time. But I just outline the square. I go about 1/4 of an inch from the end, and then I do a little squiggle. And I try and keep my bead of glue so that it's not super thick. You can kind of see it's just a very light line, because you don't want to have it oozing out and getting elsewhere on the project. So now if I am careful, I hopefully won't get glue on my fingers. So I'm going to bring in each of these sides and line them up. I take a little time to line them up on the corners so that they match up nicely. Come to the other side, bring these two together, and just take a moment. And the glue, as long as you don't press down, you have a few seconds of moving around. And then once you've got them aligned, take your bone folder and just give it a little burnish on the side that's being glued, just to kind of press down and make sure that it's sticking down. All right, so let's just set this aside for a moment and let's prep our cookies. So I've got my Gingerman cookies, and these are the clear medium envelopes. I use these actually for a lot of things. You can also mail your card in these if you're mailing cards. They're one of the things in the catalog that's hard to see because they're clear, but they're right there with the envelopes, and you get 50 in a package, so you get a lot. I also use these to package up some of my Hershey's designs so they can stay protected. So this is a good little thing to have. So we're going to take one of these, and I want to just kind of like open it up just a little bit so it's not flat. And then we're going to take one of these sleeves. Okay, kind of manipulate them into place. These are going to be not given to people, so I don't have hand protection on right now. I might use gloves if I was going to be doing these for like the public or something like that. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You want to make sure that you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, because sometimes they shift around in their little packaging. So it is a little loosey-goosey when you get it. So it's like a cupcake liner, that kind of deal. And what I want to do is I want to have this clear envelope has this long side. It has this peel off adhesive strip. So you want to slide it into the shorter side on the bottom with this longer end facing up, because we're going to wrap around to the bottom. So you just kind of want to align your cookies and kind of get them moving inside here. Just going to manipulate them in. And once they go into the box, it's going to help with the whole thing. So you're just bringing them in. Trying to get them as close as possible to the end of the envelope, and then just press this down, and then just kind of maneuver this down. And then you're going to peel off this back. This is why this is so nice. It's already got adhesive, and then you're just going to peel around. Okay. And then you just tuck in these little corners, and then we're going to slide them in the box. Just take a moment, see if it's catching on anything. It's a snug fit, okay? The box will bow out just a teeny little bit, but I think this is like a good fit for these 7 cookies. If you wanted to, like say you have some broken cookies or something, eat the broken cookie because you have to sample it, right? And just put 6 in there instead, and that will be a little bit less snug of a fit. But you will have to take into account you probably will have a few broken cookies in each batch. So if you want them all to be whole, you will have to sacrifice yourself and eat a few. Or maybe one of your helpers will have to eat a few. Okay, so we've got that all snug. And now we're going to create our little topper or our slider sleeve. So we'll bring back in our scoring tool, and I've got a piece of that beautiful Swedish Christmas paper. This is a different pattern. There's lots of great patterns in that pack. This length is 11 3/8 by 2 7/8. Put that long side up at the top, and I'm gonna prop this up again. It's fallen over. Score at the 2 1/4 inch mark, the 4 1/2 inch mark, the 6 7/8 inch mark, and the 9 1/8 inch mark. All right. Then we're going to, I'm seeing some comments popping up about the terrible sacrifice one must make when eating those broken cookies. And you know, I sacrifice a lot for you guys with all the treats I package up, and I know you feel sorry for me. All right, so basically we're just kind of creating a sleeve. So these two bottom pieces, they overlap. So this will be the bottom, and just so you know, the bottom is a tiny bit shorter than the top, and I did that because the box bows out just a little bit at the top, so it's just helpful to have a little bit extra space up at the top than the bottom. So I'm just going to take these, and I'm going to do that same little box with my glue, fill in the center, and you're going to overlap these. Now since this is not 100% symmetrical, I can't do this on the work surface. So I'm just making sure those two segments overlap as best I can, and then just press down. Okay, and then we're going to just put that in and slide it in. So it's snug. I like this design. I tried it a little tighter, and I think this is just the perfect amount of snugness for this box. All right, let's make a little topper for the box. In fact, since we're going to do a box lid, let's make two at a time. So we're going to take our little frame, and we're going to take garden green ink, because that's what's in the paper. I don't like to reinvent the wheel, or, you know, I love using the paper, and I love using the colors of the paper. So I'm just going to take this frame and lightly tap it into the garden green, not smushing it too hard. And I'm going to stamp it really close to the corner so that punch will reach. And guess what? I'm going to do one over on the other corner too, because I'm making two tags at once. And we're going to take our punch. I love this punch. It's got such a pretty design. You can use this to make your Christmas tags for your Christmas gifts if you want to. It's very handy for that. So I'll slide this in and just line it up with the punch. I'm just kind of clamping down part way and then giving it a little punch. Punches are so easy, especially if you have to make a lot of tags. It's really nice to have a punch to do that. Okay, just takes a moment just to line it up and then give it a little punch. Okay, so we've got our little tags, and I am going to use, since I'm doing Gingerman, I'm going to use this little Gingerman guy. But I just want to point out there are other little images if you're doing something other than Gingerman. We've got a little tree, we've got a heart, we've got some, these could be snowflakes, we've got the little holly berries. So you've got options. You don't just have to do the little Gingerman. This is a really good kind of all-inclusive stamp set. Okay, so I start off with a little Gingerman, and you want to get, if you want to do it like me, just tap him lightly, and you want to get him down as close to the bottom as you can. You can just kind of see, you want to try and get him down where those two little corners are peeking out. And we'll do the same for this other one. Get it down just as close as you can, because we also have to fit in Christmas and Mary, and it's going to be a little bit of a tight fit. So we'll bring in Christmas and Mary. And I'm using Sweet Sorbet. Sweet Sorbet is one of our new in colors, plus it's listed as one of the colors in the paper. You could also use Real Red. I think when it comes to reds, and especially when you're stamping like something scripty like this, you can't really tell if it's Sweet Sorbet or Real Red because it's such a small width of a line. But I really like Sweet Sorbet. So I'm just going to snug this in kind of right about there. See, he just fits that right above there. Just. All right. And then the Mary's easy to do. just tap it lightly, and I just kind of nest it over top of the Christmas. I like how this is already bent for us, kind of in a... Okay, so moving right along. So for this one, I thought, how cool would it be to just do another punch, you know, for behind here, because this is really easy, and just use it as a layer. So I'm just grabbing some garden green cardstock and doing a little punch. And earlier I punched a little real red piece. I'm gonna do real red for the other one. So, I mean, you could do another green piece, but I'm gonna do, this one's gonna be for my lid. So I'm just gonna adhere these two together. So I'm just gonna go do a little box in the center and not do the outer ones because I don't want it overlapping or the glue sticking out funny. So I'm just gonna overlap these two. Like this. Okay. And we're going to stick this on top of here like that. And I'm going to use mini dimensionals for the ribbon I'm going to add onto here. So on my supply list, I just listed mini dimensionals. So we'll just put on 4 little guys for here. And I'm going to tie some ribbon on here as well. I would just center this on here. Okay. And then I forgot to tie bows ahead of time, which I usually do because I do not like tying bows on camera because it always takes a little while. I do have a little bow maker. This is not Stampin' Up, but I get questions about this bow maker every time I put it on the camera. So after I finish this video, I will put a link to this bow maker in the description of the video. It's a Stampin' Up demonstrator who makes these, and I've been using this little bow maker for years and I like it a lot. It's just the right size for card making. So we're gonna make a garden green bow and a real red bow. So I just loop it around and then I just tie it under. I might need a little bit more length. That looks about right. And then I just tie a knot this way. After you've done this a few times, it becomes really super easy. And if you've ever had to tie, sometimes I make 50 of one card, and it's really handy to have this so that I make all the bows uniform. And then I just cut it off like that, and that's gonna go on there. And I want to have a real red bow for my other box lid, so let's do that right now. Make a real red one. I really like this ribbon. It's wide, but it ties nicely. I like the feel of it a lot. And it's in colors that we really need for Christmas, for a traditional Christmas. The red and green. I think real red and garden green are probably the most traditional Christmas colors that we have. Okay, so I'm just gonna pop off that bow. Okay, let me finish off this box first, and then we'll do the alternate design with the lid. So you could use mini glue dots. I've been not as happy with them sticking permanently, so I've been trying different adhesives. This week I'm going to try mini dimensionals. So I'll just pop 2 little mini dimensionals, and I'm going to stick them down. I like to use a little bit more than just 1 dot with bows because I feel like sometimes they repel the adhesive, and then I'll just snug that on there like that. And so here are 2 different papers that I use, so you can really see that either one, tuck that in a bit, either one of these papers would look nice. There's lots of different papers in the box that look nice, so you don't have to feel like you can only use one paper out of the box. All right, let's do our little alternate lid design in case you want more of a traditional lid than a slider box. Okay, so we'll put those aside and let's grab a little piece of garden green cardstock, and we're gonna bring back in our Simply Scored. And this time we are starting with a piece that is 4 7/8 by 4 3/8. And we're going to score this at the 1 inch mark on all 4 sides. 4 7/8 by 4 3/8, and score at the 1 inch mark on all 4 sides. Okay, and really we can prep this just like we did the other one. The long side is facing towards me, and I'm just gonna pop it in my trimmer again. You just cut up to the first score intersection, so I'm lifting this and I'm going to cut. If you get really used to cutting on here for making your boxes instead of using scissors, you can get really fast with the design. Okay, and again, I know when I fold this, I'm going to have that little piece that sticks out. So these are where the cuts are. So on the same side that you're cutting, if you take off like just a hair, like a 1/16, your box is going to come together just a little bit better. So I'll flip to the other side, the other long side, and just line that up and take off just a hair. Just like just a thin piece of cardstock. I am a little detail oriented, I must say, but it's not necessarily, you know, like these are handmade gifts, so it just depends on the level of detail you want to put into them. So when we put these together, they should do really well. So I wanted to add a little piece of designer series paper right to that top, just to give it a little bit more of a flair. You could also make the lid right out of designer series paper if you wanted to. I'm just going to add the designer series paper to the top though. Well, let's see how it looks. I actually just made a sample box earlier. This was my prototype, and I didn't make it out of the correct color. This is shaded spruce. So this is an all card stock one with no designer series paper on the top, but I wanted to see what it will look like with designer series paper. So this piece measures 2 7/8 by 2 3/8. And I'm just going to look at the cute candy canes on the other side, but I don't think I want to use that. I like I want the coordination. I prefer to just keep that color kind of clean, because if I have the candy canes, then this tag is going to compete with that for energy. So I kind of want a more neutral design. Okay, so once I've got that glued, it's going to be pretty easy to glue these 4 corners. So I like to live dangerously, so that's why I am going to put glue on all the 4 corners. And then I'm going to bring this together. Match it up, take a moment, make sure you got a nice corner. Do the same over here, match it up. The score line's right next to the edge. Come over here, bend this back. All right, I'm hoping all my dimensions were correct, because I tell you, I played with the dimensions a lot, so I hope this box lid does indeed fit. Okay, the moment of truth. I'm gonna take one of my boxes slider sleeves off because I didn't make an extra one of these. So let's just test this out. Phew, it fits, yay. Okay, so there's my little lid. You don't know how relieved I am. I have like measurements flying around my room because I was trying a bunch of different things. So I was hoping that I grabbed the correct dimensions. I thought I was right, but you never know. One of these days I'll have like the wrong measurement. I'll have to go back into the drawing board and fix it for you live. It will happen. I know it will. Crazy things. Okay, so I just added, instead of doing the garden green, I added just that little pop of red because I thought that would look nice. And then we'll come in and my little mini dimensionals right here. We'll put, I'm gonna put them four little guys right here. Yes, yes. And we'll pop this up here. Whoops. Okay, so that looks good. And I absolutely could have done a garden green bow, but since there's two colors of ribbon, I kind of want to equally distribute them so that I can show you, yeah, you can use either color on them and it will still look good. Because I think if you're going to invest and buy some of this wonderful quality ribbon, that you're going to, want to know that you can use both spools. And I really feel like whether you use these to, put bows on your Christmas gifts or tags, or use them to tie tags, that you will love this ribbon and it will look good, both of them. They're both the same width and they're both made out of the same, not fabric, but the same weave. They're like the same ribbon, just they've just got different colors. Okay, so I've just added that on there. So this is one box design. Okay, so from the top, they look somewhat the same. From the side, you've got your more traditional box, and then you've got your slider box. So either way, they would work. And so you can choose, do you want a box or do you want a slider? Okay, now you're gonna say, well, what if I don't want to do the cookies? That's fine. This is a cute little box. You could put something else in there. And if it's like a loose candy and you want to wrap it up, you'll know that you can probably, you're gonna have to figure out how much candy you can put in one of those clear envelopes. But you can put candy in a clear envelope, fold it over, seal it, and put it in here so that you can use this for, other candy that isn't wrapped, or use it for a wrapped candy too. So, but I really, really think the Gingermen are very, I've got some, I really did sacrifice myself. There were a few crushed cookies, so you can see that some of these were sacrificed. And oh my gosh, look at this guy. He lost an arm. You know what's going to happen to him afterwards? He's going to get eaten. So, but the ones that are whole, they're just really cute. And they're very tasty. And if you like ginger snaps, they are just like a ginger snap, except they are in the shape of a Gingerman. So they're very cool. All right, I'm gonna pop over back to you guys. Here I am. And tell me, what do you like better? I'll read it at the end. Do you like the slider sleeve or do you like the traditional box top? Like if you're gonna make that one, do you want to do the slider or do you like the box top? I want to know which one you liked. And just so you know, we're still in the middle of celebration. That runs until the end of August. And if you don't know what celebration is, it is a time of year when Stampin' Up! Rewards customers for spending increments of $50 or $100. So for every $50 or $100 you spend, you get to choose a free product. And so if you click over to my blog, you're in the description of this video, the very first link takes you over to my blog, and that banner at the top, click on it, it says celebration. It will take you over to the page that has all the products that you can choose from for your order. So that's kind of a good way to see what's all available. And then I also have a gift. If you order from me this month and use this host code and spend $50. Where are my little guys? I used them on last month's thank you cards that went in the mail this week. So you'll get a sample of one of them on the card that I made. These are the fine sparkle adhesive back gems, and they also have a pink color up top too that's hidden by this top header. But these are really nice, and they're nice and flat-ish for mailing, so they're not quite as bulky as some. I think these are great still for, the end of summer going into fall. They match our little gnome suite in the catalog, so they're very, very nice. They're in the holiday catalog. So that's the gift of the month, and that will be sent out in September. If you spend $50 with me, you'll get rewarded from Stampin' Up! And you'll get rewarded from me. So that's a good deal. And of course, no matter the size of your order, even if it's a smaller order, just as long as it's over $15, you'll also get to choose one of my free with purchase tutorials. Okay, I am going to go through the comments, see if there's any questions, because sometimes I'm going through it and I'm oblivious to the fact that I could do better. So let's go to the start. Let's go back to the beginning. It's a very good place to start. I probably shouldn't sing. This is not a singing channel. All right. Good morning, Karen from sunny, beautiful New Jersey. Oh, you're advertising for New Jersey. I love it. Good morning, Sandy from Wyoming, and Marilyn from Alabama. Good morning, Lupe. Good morning, Stephanie. Oh, she says she loves these cookies and buy them all the time. They are very good. I love to bake, so I bake a lot of my own cookies. So I generally don't buy a lot, I have to admit, but that's why I had to sample these ones, and they are very good. They taste a lot like the ginger snaps I make, so I approve of them. And she thanks me for the cute project. Good morning, Dee. Oh, and it's a lovely 76-degree morning in Kansas City. That's awesome. Well, I hope it stays that way. I doubt very much it's going to stay that way for the rest of the day, but it's summer, right? Stephanie said she got this handmade wishes stamp set just for that little gingerbread man. I think it's so cute, and I'm glad they stuck it right in the center of the stamp set, because it's just like, it reminds me every time that I want to use him. He's just such a cute little guy. People are commenting on the sacrifice I've had to make to do these projects and eat the cookies. Marilyn says she's going to volunteer to eat my broken cookies. Well, come on down. I might need your help in the future if I make more designs with Pepperidge Farm cookies. Loopy says she loves this punch for dainty or girly tags. It is a very pretty shape. It's got really nice edges to it. Stephanie says she's getting hungry for the cookies. I know. Pepperidge Farms, is going to have a little boost in their sales of their Gingerman cookies coming up. And they're going to be, I have no idea why that happened, right? Everyone's going to go out and buy them. Gail says she loves anything gingerbread man. Me too. I love ginger. It's a very good spice. Hi, Janine. Oh, Janine says hello, and she loves the box. Um, Hello, Ramona from Washington. Um, so Stephanie asks, what was the dimensions of the DSP strip for the slider? Okay, I will grab that for you. It is 11 and 3/8 by 2 and 7/8. So, and it will also be on the project sheet if you're on my email list, which I think you are. Um, oh, hello, Tina. I'm glad you're here live with us. That's so awesome. And Tina says the box is adorable. Um, Stephanie's gonna try the little mini dimensionals on the bows. It's like something new. I've done tear and tape, which I've been happier with than using like a mini glue dot. And I thought maybe dimensionals would be good because I didn't want the bow to be like too much, like, because I was sticking this tag up on dimensionals, so I wanted it to make kind of be up on the same level. So that's why I decided to do that. Laura says that mistakes have happened to others that she watches, so no biggie if it happens. That's great. I think it's kind of part of the fun and experimentation process. Like, I literally don't just make a box and it's just like all perfect and then I come and show you. Like, I have an idea for a box and I start off with one dimension and then I like, okay, that is like too tight, and then I'm like, okay, let's make it bigger, and I draw myself little diagrams. And this time I was fiddling around so much, I had literally had 3 pieces of paper with different dimensions on it. As maybe I shouldn't have used a Sharpie, I probably should have used a pencil. I was a little bit too confident going in with a Sharpie, right? Should have used the pencil. But anyway, it just showed the whole progression of just making it and deciding, too tight, too loose, what do you want snug, what do you want looser. It's just a bit of a process. And with paper, and maybe fabric's the same way, but with paper, it's not like it's like wood or something. Like, paper's a little bit malleable, like it's not just like completely stiff. So sometimes you have to take that into account when you're creating those measurements. Cindy likes the tags. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Tina, I think you probably see what's inside. She asked what was inside. Okay, and Stephanie answered her. Dee says she thinks the cardstock lid with the DSP will be more sturdy. Yes, it truly, truly is. But Nicholas, my paper advisor, I should hire him in advisory capacity. He liked the slider box. He thought the slider box was cooler because we see more things with the traditional lid. So I guess it just depends. What are you using it for? Who are you giving it to? You just have to figure out who your audience is, and how much is it going to get handled right before it gets gifted. Barbara loves it and says adorable. Stephanie says she loves them both. Wolf Fam, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, loves the slider. Stephanie likes the slider too, but the lid is good too. Loopy says both are cute. Cindy likes the box top. Okay, good. I'm glad I did both. That way you have options. Ramona likes the slider. How cute, but it's sad about the sacrificial gingerbread man. Poor guys. I know. They had to be eaten because they were broken. It's sad. There's nothing I can do about it. It had to be done, and I had to do it for you. All right. Dee says, I think I'll be making the slider sleeve more, but the one with the traditional lid would be good for cupcakes or little wrapped sweets like peppermints or kisses. True. Marilyn likes the slider. And Lupe says hello from LA, so that's cool. Tina's from Maryland. Ramona says, just a note, you're awesome. Thanks for sharing your talent. Okay, Ramona, I'm going to click this. This is what Ramona said. Look at all the little hearts. Isn't that cute? I love that. Thank you, Ramona. Cindy's gonna try the cookies. Yes, do. They're fun. Um, oh, Dee asked, how many cookies come in a bag? So I think it's 21. There, in my bag, there were three sleeves of seven each. So I think 21 is probably the size of it. But you could, there will be some sacrifices that will need to be made. So maybe your boxes only have six each, right? Because, you have to eat the broken ones. Um, Marty overslept. Oh no. Well, I'm glad you're here now, and the video will live on YouTube, so you can watch it afterwards. Oh, you went to bed at 5 a.m. Oh my gosh, I could not do that. I am so bad at night. I get really tired really easily, and I usually don't last too much beyond 10. My preferred bedtime would be like if I were in bed exactly at 10, that would just work out really perfectly for me. But some days, especially when my son is here, so last night, he's been wanting to go through the old clothes in his room for a while, like stuff that from high school, because he's been at university now for 3 years, and kids leave stuff behind. And so he was going through his clothes and deciding, hey, can I still wear this? And so I'm like, we kind of started talking, and then he started trying on the old shirts and stuff, and I was like just like hanging with him, and he's like, is this too tight? And so by the time I got to bed last night, it was 11 p.m. and I was just like yeah, it was not good. So but I got to hang with our son, and that was kind of special, just to like spend time with him, because those days are rarer now. Like, he does come to visit, but not as often as he can, because he's about 8.5 hours away. So yeah, it was just a nice little bonding moment last night over figuring out what he can keep in his wardrobe or not. It was fun. And Kitty likes the slider box. Awesome. And Diane is here from Maine. Aw. Hello, Diane. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning. And I'm glad I got some of your questions answered. I'll try and remember to put the bow maker in the supply list afterwards, so you can find that if you want to. And I hope you have a great weekend. The project sheet gets mailed out on Saturdays, and I will be back with my regular routine next week. Tuesday, I'll have my casing Tuesday, and Friday, I will have a 3D or fancy fold card. Oh, and I'm also going to be throwing an extra tutorial up. It is already a recorded video. It's on the thank you card that I sent out. So if you're one of my customers and your card isn't probably in the mail right now or arriving soon, but next week I'll have that video tutorial for you that I filmed, so that you can see how I made your thank you card, and if you want to make your own. All right, guys, have a Oh, Dee says she likes my Hershey's Kiss necklace. Aw, thank you. This was given to me by a very special friend, and actually it was a former team member, Lisa. And yeah, it's I'm wearing my Hershey's Kiss necklace today. I have no idea where she got that Hershey's Kiss necklace, but I like wearing it every once in a while. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.